Okay, recording.
Okay, here we go. We're going to try and get the bees in the hive. So the first thing we're going to do is going to wet them down with the sugar water so they'll get all sticky. They'll be busy licking the sugar off of each other. Okay, now they're wet and sticky. What we want to do is try and open it up. Take off the shipping plug here. There we go. Using our handy dandy bee tool, hive tool. Okay, a few loose bees here. Brush them out of the way. Get. Okay. Now, I think the first thing I'm supposed to be trying to do is to get the feeding can out of here. Let's put it over there. You guys get out of the way. Okay. Put the cap back on. I know. Back in there. Get back in there. We're not ready for you yet. Okay, here's the queen. Pull the queen out. Okay. Okay. Now, you want to take a look. You see the queen is marked with the white dot. So we just want to make sure that she's in there. And we want to make sure that she's alive. So she's in there with what looks to be like 3 worker bees and 1 dead worker bee. But she's in there and in good shape. So we're just going to set her aside for the moment while we go back over to the hive now. We're going to take, I think, 4 frames out. Put them over to the side for now. And then what we're going to do is we're probably going to put the queen right here. Now, one of the things we have to do with the queen, we have to look at the cage. And what we see is that the cage has the spot for those bees, but then it has a candy plug over here. Okay, so they're going to eat their way through the candy plug to release the queen into the colony. One of the other things that we have going on here is we have to take out the cork plug from the candy side so that she'll be able to get out. Okay, we've got the cork out. Now, what I want to do is I want to try and put this paper clip into the candy plug just for a little bit of support. I should probably take this metal strip off. Okay. Okay, look how calm they are. They're not after me. We're going to put the queen into the hive so that the screen is facing into the hive so that the other bees will be able to attend to the queen. Okay, so that's what that piece of metal is. Oops, I pushed it down a little bit far. Excuse me, ladies. Let's do it this way. Hopefully it's not going to fall off. And of course it fell off. Try again. Alright. So put the paper clip in, and then put the queen right here. Bring this frame up against it to hold the queen in place. Okay, that way the other bees can get used to her, and they can attend to her and feed her and bring her water through the screen. If we had to turn the other way, they wouldn't be able to get to her, and she possibly could die.
How do they eat the candy from the top?
Well, they can get to the top because this is going to be wide open on top. The feeder will be on top, but there's going to be like an inch or two here, so there's plenty of room. she's going to eat her way out, and they're going to eat their way in.
Okay.
Okay, now, I keep forgetting that that's there. Okay, now, next thing we want to do is get the bees in the hive. So, we have some neighborhood bees that are coming to talk to us. Slightly different color, but they're also honeybees. Well, some of them could have been the ones that were inside of here that got loose, and we took the can out. Keep them nice and sticky and nice and wet. Keeps them from doing anything crazy. Now that we have the top off, we can even spray in like this. Okay. Now, let's put them in. Let's try and put some directly on the queen. Shake the rest of them into the hive. That's a lot of bees. Come on, guys. Now, the bees that don't come out, well, they're hanging on. I'll tell you that. We'll just leave them.
And they'll come out of there eventually.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll lean them against the front of the hive, and they'll eventually just decide to walk out of the cage and walk right up into the hive. Okay, so now we have a few bees that are flying around. They're buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. I'm just going to put these frames in here. Now what we want to do, see, it's now sitting directly on the bees. Now what should happen is the bees should move, because they're not going to like having these things on their back. Now one thing I don't want to do is squish the bees. Put these in here. Eventually what will happen is they'll move out of the way, and the frames will fall into the spots where they're supposed to be. See them going down?
Mm-hmm.
One more. Just let them settle to where they want to be. We need to keep this nice and tight so that that queen doesn't fall. Not that it's terrible if it falls, but it's just going to be nicer up here because the bees want to be at the top of the hive.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have all the bees surrounding the queen up here at the top. Okay, some of the dead bees are laying on top over here. That's not something we did. That's the dead bees from transit. Remember, once move out the way. Okay, now, next thing we need to do is we need to put the hive feeder on. This is a hive top feeder with a hole for them to climb up through and little rafts for them to land on while they're eating.
Do you have to feed them a lot?
Just at the beginning in the spring, because they haven't established their runs and where all the flowers and such are. So this will help them actually build the wax, so that they can create the honeycomb.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing really is going to function until we get the honeycomb formed. The queen can't lay eggs. We can't have new bees until the honeycomb is in there. So what we're going to do, put it on so we only touch a couple of spots. I'll grab the bee brush. If any of them need to be convinced to move, we'll move them with the bee brush. You guys, watch out. I don't want to get hit by this. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah, they really don't seem to mind that we're here too much. Is that because this is a new hive?
The way that it was described to me is that they're not aggressive at all right now because they don't have a home to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Once they adopt this, then they're gonna defend this home. But then again, we'll have the smoker to help us keep them calm then. We don't need the smoker now because they have nothing to fight for.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the queen in there, alive and in well, and with the look at them,
Yeah.
coming to the front door. Okay, we'll put the sugar in there. So I'll probably have to feed them for the first couple weeks in the spring. And then in the fall, as the nectar flow slows down, we'll give them more sugar water at that time in order to help them build up their supplies for the winter. Okay, I'm going to pour what's in the spray bottle in there too. This is just simple syrup, half sugar, half water.
By volume?
Yeah. And now, all we need to do is put the lid back on. This is the outer lid. There's an inner lid that we're not using because we're using the hive top feeder.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to the point where we don't need the feeder anymore, then we'll use the inner cover too. Right. And that's it. We've installed our bees. I like the way that they've already found the door.
Yeah. I think it's the ones crawling out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah, so right now that's the only way in and out of the hive. The top and the sides are all sealed.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
Sweet
Huh?
beehive.
What I'm going to do